Hello, Jeff Rudd here. It's now September the 3rd. For the record, about 2 weeks ago, I had to be taken out of my house by ambulance to the Lord's Hospital. I ran into a number of breathing problems, and this was due to environmental conditions around my home. And also, I had been quite honestly burning the candle at both ends while trying to do many things all at one time. My own fault to a great extent, and unfortunately for the following 2 weeks after that, I had to take things more easier. I should say far easier. In those 2 weeks, a number of scandals broke out, continued, and currently parts of them continue to fester, even though the government is trying to play them down and quietly drop them from public attention in hope that the public will forget about them. But pain in the arses like me will continue to dig into such matters and find out core truths which the government, in this case the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Green Party cabal, don't like to have put out there to the public. But knowledge is power, and it's about time that the public got that power back rather than the illusion of it. That said, let's move on. I want to congratulate Stephen T. Manning on the publication of his latest book, Criminality in the Irish Courts and the Absence of the Rule of Law. This is a book, in short, that describes many cases where Irish judges in High Court and elsewhere have taken the law into their hands or simply ignored it, doing exactly what they shouldn't be doing, acting illegally and getting away with it, because in this country there is no proper damn accountability under the governments of the usual lot: Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour Party and the Greens. I wish him every success. His book is available on Amazon and it can be got through Checkpoint Press. I thoroughly recommend it. I've already ordered my copy. Again, it's called Criminality in the Irish Courts and the Absence of the Rule of Law by Stephen T. Manning. Utterly well recommended reading. On other matters, the government is still pursuing its giving of powers to Gardaí that will have the ability to house invade, breaking constitutional rules by allowing them to just assume 6 people are up to something in a house, and therefore they can enter without court warrant or proper criminal justification. The government, now using civil law rather than criminal law to get around some serious restrictions that had pre-existed for decades, has changed the law, so even though it unconstitutionally is against the people, they will still try to enforce the new Garda powers down the throats of many. They say it has nothing to do with street parties or house invasions, but yet 2-3 weeks ago an illegal eviction happened. In many circumstances, when the Gardaí invaded that property, they carried out a number of illegal actions, and since then suddenly these new rules have been brought in to circumvent their previous illegal actions. But of course you're not meant to cop all this and a hell of a lot more. My Facebook posts continue to expose this in greater detail. I won't bore you with the details here, but if you wish to look them up or ask any questions, look on my Facebook page or PM me. I want to give a shout out to Ken Smollen, who was in fact on record the first county councillor to object to the building of the anaerobic digester in his county, which might have serious consequences close to the Raylan Road in Tullamore. His local newspaper there, biased as hell, decided to exclude him and not even give him a mention, even though he was the first person to raise the topic and say, hang on a minute, this crap can't continue without further investigation or the matter looked into in other ways. They named other councillors but decided to leave him out yet again. Unbiased media, I leave it to you decide. For some time now, I have not been doing as many podcasts as I previously started out to do. This has been simply down to dealing with day-to-day matters that people have regularly contacted me about. The job path racket, which has now cost the public close to €300 million, continues to fester. Fianna Fáil, along with other parties previously in the last government, voted against it, and imposed methods in order to try and have it eventually winded down. However, like Labour, who previously got into a previous government and said one thing and then did another, Fianna Fáil seems to be doing the same damn thing. They have said nothing about Job Path since they got into government, and they are now allowing it to continue. In other words, it's more of the same old double standard crap. Say one thing prior to elections and then do another after elections. The number of issues I am now daily contacted about is continuing to exponentially grow in a serious number. Besides myself, there is the likes of Ken Smolin and others out there struggling to help others that are seriously stuck. In 2018, the Irish deprivation rate was 15.1%. In 2019, it's 17.8%. And for 2020, the number is supposed to be even higher. And these are numbers that also, by the way, were calculated prior to COVID-19 hitting Ireland. Since then, matters have even got far worse. As you will see on my Facebook page, the pictures of yet another child queuing up outside a Dublin kitchen in a school uniform in the evenings just to get a basic meal. He is not on his own. This is not the first photograph of such children queuing up at that location just to get a meal. This is 2020. We're supposed to be a first world country, not behaving like a third world country. And I don't blame the child and I don't blame the parents. This government has done bugger all for the lower people. But mind you, the TDs are making sure to look after themselves, as we all know. Well, the ones that bother their arse to actually go out and do their research, because the TDs are looking after themselves in multiple pay, pensions and additional massive perks. Nothing new there under Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour and the Green Party. It's jobs for the boys and for the girls as long as you're in the cabal. I will finish up this podcast by a quick message. There will be more podcasts more regularly coming, but I want to state something here and now. I hold some complex and often some simple fundamental beliefs. One is that knowledge is power. Another is that those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Those that refuse to accept information and truth reap what comes next, just like those that refuse to learn from our past. We could be the masters of our own future or be the enablers of our own decline. It all comes down to using our brains and going from there in effort, solo or united. It all comes down to willing effort, regularly too, even in the face of adversity. We should be trying to be a master, not an enabler, even for our own sake. So my message to you, listener, before signing off is don't be complacent. Please don't let your neighbour and families be complacent. Any information you get which it helps to empower you or your friends or your neighbours or anybody else, share it please, be it on social media or face to face or by any other communication method. We have got to turn the tide of wrong in this country. Our elected aren't damn well doing it, but somebody has to, and it comes down to the people, in other words, to do it. Thank you for listening. This is Jeff Rudd signing off. Talk to you soon.